making a sort of beginner makeup recommendation video, but before I get into it, I want to apologize in case you can hear banging outside. Somebody is fixing or building something, and they've been doing that for the past couple of hours, so I'm sorry if you can hear it and if it bugs you. This is for pretty much anyone who's never used makeup before or never really been comfortable using makeup. These are the products that I think are the basics, like the absolute basics. I'm not going to say necessities because technically no makeup is a necessity, but if you want to use makeup, these are your necessities. So the first two that kind of go together are a powder, because a good powder will help to mattify your skin and give a little bit of coverage. My favorite is the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. It doesn't have a lot of color, and there is actually a translucent one if you just want it to be mattifying and not really add color to your skin. Yeah, I would definitely recommend a powder whether or not you want a foundation. I would also recommend either a foundation or a BB cream, or in this case a CC cream, to anyone who wants a little bit more coverage. Maybe you have some acne or red patches or just any unevenness on your skin that you want to even out. Foundation will help you a lot more than most powders will. I don't have a particular BB cream or CC cream to recommend. This is the one I've been using recently. It's the Marcel CC cream. It's very nice. It has SPF 35 in it, which is great because then if you forget to use a sunscreen, you already have that on. CC creams and BB creams have generally a lot less coverage, so they're good for a beginner. BB and CC creams also have more moisturizing or anti-aging and like more general effects, whereas a foundation is more for coverage. If you want a good like coverage foundation that is still fairly natural, and if you have the money for it, I would recommend the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I find that that gives my skin, I have fairly normal skin pigmentation wise. I have oily to combination skin, and I only have a little bit of redness, and I find that the Makeup Forever HD foundation makes my skin basically flawless, and it lasts all day long. But if you're not comfortable with that, or you just don't have the money for it, BB cream is a great second option. And you would always put the foundation or BB cream on and then set with the powder. The next thing I think that is very important to have are brushes, like real brushes. They don't need to be expensive ones. These ones are both from e.l.f. This is from the Studio line, and it is the e.l.f. complexion brush. It's the one that I use for powder when I'm setting my foundation. This is the e.l.f. blending brush. I think this is a discontinued line, but they have plenty of blush brushes and blending brushes. They also have tons of eyeshadow brushes in a bunch of different shapes. So yeah, and the Studio line is $3, super soft, and I have never really felt the need for anything more. And honestly, you don't need more than an e.l.f. brush. They're really, really nice. The reason I recommend getting some real brushes instead of using like the applicators out of the makeup packaging, well, the Rimmel Stay Matte doesn't come with a like sponge or anything, but the sponges that do come with other powders, they apply really thick and cakey. Some of them are okay for touch-ups, but I wouldn't recommend them. A brush gives you a much more even, thin, and natural coverage. And I would also recommend an eyeshadow or some eyeshadow brushes, just because these sponge tip applicators that come in makeup sets, like even the high-end ones, those sponge tip applicators are just not great. You have to be really good in order to use them nicely, and they're really hard to blend with. A brush will help you pack color on, blend color, and it'll just look smoother and way, way prettier, and you'll just overall be happier with your makeup. That said, I will go on to eyeshadow. I would recommend a neutral palette for beginners, nothing with like tons of bright colors or anything, because while they look really cool in the pans, they can be very intimidating to try and work with on your face and a lot more difficult to make look clean. This is my favorite neutral palette, the Naked Basics palette. It's just a bunch of mattes and a sort of satin shimmer. This one is, I believe, $36 in Canada, so it is a little bit pricey, but they are very good quality. If you don't have the money to purchase a the Naked Basics or any of the other Naked palettes, which are also really great options if you have the money for that. But if you just want something to play around with because you're not really sure about it, or if you just don't have the money for it in general, the Wet n Wild palettes are really good. I think they have trios, quads, and 8-pan palettes, and I'm pretty sure even in Canada the big 8-pan ones are less than $5. So those are a great option, and they have tons of neutral ones and tons of colored ones, so you can find something that will work for you. And while we're on the topic of eyeshadow, I would recommend an eyeshadow primer. I have 3 here because honestly I don't think the one you use is most important as long as you're using one. An eyeshadow primer will make your eyeshadows more pigmented, last longer, not crease, go on smoother, and you'll just be happier with the finished product, and it will stay on your face a lot longer. One really basic one is the e.l.f. eyelid primer. This one is only $1, and it just has doe foot applicator, and it basically goes on clear. It looks sort of skin tone, but you don't see it on your eyelids. It's good enough, definitely for a beginner. It's not the best one I've used, but it does do a lot more than just putting the eyeshadow on your eye without anything. My favorite one is the Essence I Heart Stage. If you have access to Essence products, then I would recommend this one. It has a bit more of a tint. It's almost like a concealer. Let's swatch that one for you. As you can see, it does show up, and you would blend that in, and it doesn't show up too bad. I'm pretty sure it would work with most skin tones, especially once you put your eyeshadows over it. But if you have like veins or redness on your lids, it helps to cover that up, and I really like that. I also find that it helps my shadows stick a lot longer than the e.l.f. eyeshadow primer. Finally, if you have the money for it, or if you're already buying a Naked palette, you will probably get a Urban Decay primer potion, just a little one like this. The primer potion is just as good as the Essence one, maybe better depending on what you want. The plain eyeshadow primer potion goes on completely clear, so it doesn't have the concealer effects of the Essence, but it works just as well. There's also the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which a lot of people like, and I'm pretty sure is just basically comparable to the Urban Decay. So those are much pricier options, but also good options. One that I definitely think you need even more than eyeshadow, if you want to skip the eyeshadow altogether, then go right ahead. Eyeshadow and the eyeshadow primer, completely optional, but if you want to wear makeup, you need a mascara. I recommend pretty much anything made by Maybelline. This one's my favorite right now. The words are kind of rubbed off, but this is the Rocket Volume Express. I use waterproof because I have oily lids and sometimes my eyes are quite watery. If you have either of those problems, say if you have allergies, you have oily eyelids, oily skin, if you are an emotional person, if you have to go to a wedding and that's why you're starting on makeup, or prom or graduation, then I would recommend a waterproof foundation. Some people don't like waterproof because it's very hard to get off, but with a good eye makeup remover, that's not a problem. This one's mine. It has sort of a rubber bristle brush that I find not as spiky as some other ones, so it lengthens, it volumizes, and it blackens blackens and thickens your eyelashes, which is the most important part. If you put, especially if you're using a foundation and a powder, some of that, no matter how careful you are, is going to get on your eyelashes, and especially if you have blonder or light brown eyelashes, your eyelashes are going to look invisible. Redheads too. So definitely get a mascara. It doesn't have to be in black. You can start off with a dark brown or a gray black if you are worried about it looking too dramatic, but I love black mascara. Another one that I think is really important, you can totally skip it if you're not comfortable with it, but I would recommend getting an eyebrow pencil. Eyebrow pencils, in my opinion, are the easiest sort of eyebrow product to use because it is in a simple pencil form. A lot of them come with a brush or a spoolie on the back too, so you can help brush through and make it much more even. There are also gels and waxes and powders, but those take a lot more precision and a lot more time. and whereas an eyebrow pencil is going to go on quick and easy. And when your eyebrows are done, it makes your entire face look more put together, cleaner, and just more done. If you want to use nothing else, if you use a powder, a eyeliner, pencil, and a mascara, you will look just so much more put together than if you had no makeup on at all. Finally, I'm going to say a makeup remover. This isn't makeup, but if you're going to start on makeup, you need one, especially if you're using a waterproof eyeliner, but you really have to take off your makeup every single day. My favorite right now is the Clinique Take the Day Off Makeup Remover for lips, lashes, and eyes. Lids, lashes, and lips, sorry. This one was just a mini size that came with a gift with purchase with some Clinique stuff, and it's almost gone, so I'm going to do a replacement. You can get these small sizes at Sephora if you want to buy a higher end makeup remover, but there are also plenty of good makeup removers at the drugstore. One I've heard a lot of people rave about is by Neutrogena, but you definitely need to find yourself a makeup remover if you're going to start wearing makeup. And sort of an honorable mention, I'm just going to point out eyeliners. This is the black Urban Decay 24/7 Glide-On Eye Pencil in 0, which is what I'm wearing today on my lower lashes. Black liner on your waterline might be a little much if you're just starting to wear makeup, though if it is a look you like, then go right ahead. It's really not hard to pull off, though you will think you probably look kind of weird when you first start doing it. If you feel like you have issues looking awake during the day or in the morning, and that's part of why you want to start wearing makeup, I would recommend getting a nude liner just to use on your waterline, like I've used the black. One good one is the Rimmel Scandalize eyeliner in nude, which is also a drugstore product, so it's very affordable, but it's definitely not a need to have, so I thought I would mention it, but you don't need to have it. If you only buy a couple of items, I'm just going to repeat again: makeup remover, mascara, powder, a powder brush, and an eyeliner pencil. These 5 things will just make your everyday look more put together, like you put in some effort without looking over the top. You'll still look very, very natural, but you'll just look more awake, more happy, and more presentable. So I hope you found this video helpful or enjoyable. Please tell me down below if you think I missed anything, if you think there's anything else that should be in a beginner starter kit. Also give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.